welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to be painting a deer, which I think they call a white-tailed deer, and I'm going to be doing this picture with watercolor, which is a medium I've been playing with for a while and something I really enjoy. I started getting into watercolor when I saw other YouTubers doing it, and I was like, that looks so fun to mess around and play with. And also I took an art course and we tried watercolor, and I was like, this is like a medium you can literally have fun with and relax with. But there's also like a con to this medium because it requires patience, which I did not have when I first tried this medium. I thought of it as acrylics or gouache. I kind of took it from that perspective instead of thinking of it as water, more water on the paper. So when I was in my art class and I tried it, I wasn't very happy with my first painting. It looked really weird compared to the reference. I was so upset because the colors weren't popping, everything just looked opaque and everything was muddying together, especially the sky, and I was so upset with myself because when I do my artwork, I like things to at least look decent. Every day doesn't have to be perfect, but it at least has to look nice, and to me it did not look nice. It looked horrible. So with this medium and doing this piece, I wanted to challenge myself because I had did a couple other pieces before this and it started to look better, but what I've never done is paint an animal. So that was my challenge, and well, I've definitely never painted an animal when it comes to watercolor, gouache, or acrylic. I've only ever painted is backgrounds. I painted like a person once, but mainly when it comes to paint, I do backgrounds because that's my comfort zone and I don't want to go out of it. And since I perfected backgrounds, especially when it comes to acrylics and gouache, I'm like, I cannot leave. No, but you got to get out of that mindset and push yourself. So I tried to do an animal, and well, I was so scared because this animal required the colors to pop, and as you heard me say, when it came to watercolor, well, my colors didn't really pop. They looked opaque, and when I say they looked opaque and the colors were mudding together. And well, with this reference in this animal, it required the colors not to mud, especially considering on the back he has white patches, and if my colors started muddying, there would be no white spots on this animal that he has. So I was really scared, and I was just hoping that I could pull this off because I really wanted to challenge myself. I really wanted to see how far my skills have developed and how much I've improved. I just really want to improve upon making the colors show because I really wanted to see if my practice was paying off, and on top of that, drawing an animal and painting it, they really have a lot of different colors on them in different shades depending on the animal you pick. And when it comes to watercolor compared to gouache or acrylics, with acrylics or gouache, when it dries, it doesn't turn see-through, or you know that color is going to dry pretty much the way you mixed it. With watercolor, it may start off dark, but as it dries, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So you have to add more layers and have to have the right consistency or mix the right type of shade to keep the color from getting lighter and lighter. So like for instance, let's say you think you put a dark purple down and you're like, it's gonna look so pretty, but with watercolors, that's like the tricky part on making sure you mix the right things or get it the right mixture or shade of color so that it looks like that once it dries, or you're gonna have to go back over it. And that's one of the things too with watercolor. If your first layer, if you put too much water on, then it will start to kind of revive the layer under it, or it will start to create these like water spots if you don't blend it correctly. And that's what was happening with my other paintings when I did it in art class. So with this one, I really wanted to see if my practicing was paying off, and if I could actually draw this animal and keep everything kind of look clear and crystal, and make sure that the colors I was mixing and blending actually showed through and showed the layer upon layer, and that I didn't mess up another layer, because like I said, with watercolor it's kind of a bit tricky, but at the same time it is a calming process and it's very satisfying when you see the end result. And on top of that, they are very easy to maneuver. It's just getting the color to be darker and stay that way when it dries is like the tricky part when for me anyway, it is. So that is really what I want to accomplish, and I really wanted the colors not to mud together, because with this picture it has a lot of browns, which for each shade of brown has to be mixed a different color, and if I don't do it right, it will all look the same. So that was another part which I thought this picture would be perfect, because it would help show if I could mix my colors correctly and get a different shade and have it dry that same shade. And I was so happy when I was doing this, because it started to show that, and I was just so excited that it was starting to look like how I wanted to look, and compared to the reference, which if you want to see the reference I used, it is in the description with my Pinterest, because I had gotten this off of Pinterest and I was so happy that I chose this one. And the purple flowers with this drawing just like adds more onto it. I'm just really pleased with myself, you guys, because my watercolor really has been a journey and a struggle, but it has definitely been a journey and a very fun medium that I just can't stop playing with. And I have these little bitty tubes, and I'm like, I'm gonna get some bigger ones, because I notice I play with watercolor a whole lot. So in the description I will put the paints I used and the materials I used in this video. So if you want to know those, go down in the description. And besides that, you guys, I'm just so pleased with myself, and this really just shows that practice does give improvement. And if you want to try the watercolor medium, just make sure you practice and don't give up just because all your colors met together and it doesn't look as perfect as you want it to, because even though we artists and we people who like to draw want every drawing or medium we do to be perfect, we all know realistically practicing it makes it better, it makes it improved. So if you want to use the materials I used, they will be in the description. Besides that, you guys, I'm just gonna let this time lapse play out, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you for watching, thank you for coming, and yeah, bye.